This video is inspired by Luke Thenotable. For the first 20 days in this world, I was making another video on getting netherite as quickly as possible in a hardcore world. On day 21, I started on a wheat and cow farm. The next 4 days, I worked on expanding the wheat farm as far as I possibly could up the hill. I planted every single seed I acquired. On days 26 through 28, I made a tunnel to the nearest village, about 1,000 blocks away, which I found with mineatlas.com. I also stole all of the village's wheat. 29 and 30, I expanded the tunnel and boated 3 of the villagers back home. On day 31, I harvested all of the potatoes and carrots from the village. I spent day 32 collecting blackstone from the nether. On day 33, I started digging out an area for the villager breeder, which was designed by Impulse SV. A wandering trader walked in front of me to his immediate death. The next 2 days I also spent working on the breeder, which included digging out the entirety of the area, placing blackstone around the edges, and filling in the rest of the space with dirt. The 2 days after that were spent working on the villager drop-off area. This is the place that the baby villagers would be shipped off to so they wouldn't crowd in one too small of an area, and they could be easily moved out with a minecart. Since it was in the middle of the water, I cleared it out with a bunch of sand. Day 38, I both finished the breeder and continued expanding both the wheat and sugarcane farm. A creeper blew up some of my chests on day 39, so I spent the entire day lighting up dark areas around the tunnels. Day 40, I did more farming, started making an enchanting setup, which led to a nationwide search for cows and sugarcane. Days 41 and 42, I started minecarting a villager out of its pen. I feel bad calling it a pen, but I don't really have a better word, so we're going to stick with pen for now. After getting the villager up and out of there, I started on a makeshift trading hall for enchanted books. I was really not worried about making it pretty, I just want to be able to have the villager not run away, and I'll work on decorating it later. The next day, I got mending on my second try from this villager, and I ended up rushing around getting crops so I could trade for emeralds because I was scared the mending trade would go away and I would have no luck later on getting it. On day 44, I got my first mending book, and I put it on my pickaxe, which was almost broken. So I went to the nether on a quartz and gold mining trip to get experience to repair the pickaxe. On that same day, I ended up finding a bastion, which was pretty cool. I got quite distracted, and I stayed on that mining trip until day 55. So that wasn't a waste of time. I got enough emeralds to get another mending book, which I went home and put on my hoe, because that is the best use for both mending and netherite. The next day I was on my mining trip getting experience to fully repair my hoe, which was absolutely the best use of my time. On day 62 I unlocked 2 suspicious stew trades from my villager, one of which turned out to be jump boost and the other weakness. The next few days I enchanted some of my tools. I got a Fortune 3 shovel and a Fortune 3 axe, but not a Fortune pickaxe. Days 66 through 71, I expanded my farms as far as possible up into the hills. Later, I used mineatlas to find a bamboo jungle and a desert for some cactus. On day 76, I found an amazing view that reminded me why I love this game. On day 77, I got golden carrots from trading, and added another villager to the trading call, who gave me a pretty good paper trade, which would put to use my sugarcane farm, that has been useless ever since I finished the enchanting setup. By day 79, I had gotten mending on everything, which was pretty cool. I would never have to deal with broken tools. Day 80, I started on house construction, which was long overdue. I started with a basic square outline, and then I added some weird shapes to make it more interesting. The next day I started on replacing all of the wood that I placed down with cobblestone because I wanted that to be the base of the house with some spruce log outlines. I spent the next day adding in the spruce outlines and adding a nice little cobblestone base to the end of this tower. I realized some of the corners were a block off, so I had to go around and fix all of those and replace the old ones with cobblestone. With all the outlines done, it was time to start working on the walls of the house, so it wouldn't be available to be destroyed by predators such as zombies or spiders, or this is kind of pointless to say. You already know what walls do. I realized I had run out of spruce wood, and since this was going to be a primarily spruce house, I was going to need to go plant some more. So I decided to do the big 2x2 spruce trees that give a bunch of wood and aren't extremely annoying to destroy. The next day I spent solely farming, clearing out my entire farm, which completely filled my inventory with wheat. The next day I started working on the path to the front door, and once I was done with that, I spent a few days later just getting wood. I wanted as much wood as possible so I wouldn't run out while building this house. Day 92, I started filling in the floor with a pretty cool design that I liked. With the walls built up, I started on an actual storage system where I would organize things instead of letting them go around randomly in chests. Day 94, I started working on the roof, which would also be the floor of the second story, and I also made a staircase, so I would have a way to get up there. Day 95, I went back to harvesting wheat. I started day 96 with some villager trading and cow breeding, ended it off with organizing my chest with some item frames. The next day I started work on a slime farm, so I dug my way over to the nearest slime chunks, which I found on Mine Atlas. I also found a spawner, which is pretty cool, but as soon as I turned on the chunk borders, I started digging out the area that I would need. Day 98, I continued working on the slime farm and found a bunch of caves that needed to be lit up. Day 99, I carved up some pumpkins to make jack-o'-lanterns, which would be my light source in the slime farm, and I also started a pumpkin farm. And on day 100, I looked over all that I had created, which was mostly just farm. That's it for this video of 100 days survived in hardcore Minecraft. A big shout out to Luke Thenotable and Socks4One for inspiring me. Like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to see day 200. I probably could have done that outro better, but I've been editing for 7 hours and I'm kinda tired.
You can have this feeling anytime.